Okay, we talked about ways of making multiplication easier. Are there ways we can make division easier as well? Well, yeah, there is actually. This divide by 5, it's not particularly hard, but it's a lot easier if we turn that into a 10 by multiplying it by 2. And it's pretty easy to get 8.04 also multiplied by 2. So this would be 16.08 divided by 10. When we've got 10 down here, it's just to move the decimal point one place to the left. So it's really quite nice, you get 1.608. Okay? So simplifying division in that way is okay, as long as you do the same thing to the top as you do to the bottom. If you can easily get zeros down here, please do so, because then it's just to move the decimal point. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, what about when we've got 14 then on the bottom? How many of you are excellent at your 14 times table? Probably not very many of you, okay? But how could we simplify that? Well, look, we've got two even numbers here. So if we're not very good at our 14 times tables, we could divide top and bottom here by 2. This would give us 7 on the bottom, and our 7 times tables we know very well. And 84 divided by 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. 42 divided by 7 is now suddenly so much easier. So 6 sevens are 42. Yeah? So learning how to manipulate division is very useful. Okay, what about this one then? 5.68 divided by 32. Well, I'm even worse at my 32 times table than I am at my 14. But could I simplify it? I wonder. 32 divides by 8. 56 divides by 8, and 8 divides by 8. So what I could do here to simplify is, I could divide my top and bottom numbers by 8. If I divide 32 by 8, I'd get 4 8s are 32 on the bottom. Okay, let's divide 5.68. 5s, and then we could do it here, if we're not comfortable doing it on paper. 8s go into 5 0 times, 5 left over. 8s go into 56 7 times. 8 goes into 8 1 time. Now I've got the nice easy number 0.71 divided by 4, and that's a big difference. So if you end up with questions where you're not allowed a calculator and you manipulate the division, it's actually quite easy now. Because now I can do 4s into 7, go 1 time, 3 left over. 4s into 31, 4 7s are 28, 3 left over. New 0. 4s into 30, 7 again, 2 left over. 4 7s, 28, we had 30. Now, 4s into 25. So we could work that out as an exact answer. This solution is a lot easier than that solution, because we don't know what 32 times 2. So then you can wonder, okay, well, how do I know whether these numbers are divisible by things? There are actually some simple rules in maths to work out whether a number is divisible. Let's take a weird number here. 1,790. And let's look at the rules that I've put on the right-hand side of the board here to decide whether this number is divisible by 2. Well, no, it's not divisible by 2 because the last number isn't even. Okay? So definitely not. Next question, is it divisible by 3? Well, to know if a number is divisible by 3, you add up each of the numbers as though they were 1 units. So you add up each of the digits, so here we'd add up 1 plus 7 plus 1 plus 9. And we'd ignore the fact that that is 1,000 and that is 700 and that is 10 and that is 9. We just add them all up as a string of numbers. 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 plus 7, 17 plus 1 is 18. So this number is 18 if I just add up each of the individual digits. Then I say, okay, can I divide 18 by 3 exactly? Yeah, I get 6. Therefore, this number is divisible by 3. And it's a little trick to see if a number is divisible by 3. So let's prove it to ourselves. 17, 19. I'm saying it's going to be divisible by 3. 3's into 17, 5 times. 2 left over. 3 is into 21, 7 times. 3 is into 9, 3 times, none left over. Okay? So there's a little trick to find out if a number is divisible by 3. Okay, what about, could we divide this number by 4 then? Look at the last 2 digits here. Last 2 are 19. Does 19 divisible by 4? No, it would have to be 16 or it would have to be 20. But if I'd had the number, let's say that we'd had the number 1720 then. The last 2 digits, is that divisible by 4? Yep, so the number should be divisible by 4. Let's have a quick check. 4's into 17, go 4 times, 1 left over. 4's into 12, go 3 times, 0 left over. 4's into 0. So yeah, it does. So these rules work, and they're very useful. Because if you want to simplify a division, you need to know what you can divide both of the numbers of. And these little cheats can help you with that. So the rule for 4 is, if the last 2 numbers can be divided by 4, then the whole number can be divided by 4. 5s are easy, and I'm sure you're used to that from lower school, that anything with a 5 or a 0 on the end can be divisible by 5. 6. If, and it's this rule here, what did we have? We had 17, 19. If this number is even on the end, and it uses the same rule then for number 3, that you add up the digits. So is this even? No, it isn't. So we can't check that rule. But let's think of another rule that we can check it with. If we had, we'll think of another one in a minute. 9 then. If the sum of the digits is divisible by 9, then so is the original number. So again, we add up all of these. 1 plus 7 plus 1 plus 9. We know that that was 18. Is 18 divisible by 2? By 9? To give us 2? Yes, it is. So this number is also divisible by 9. Okay? So this 3 rule is very, very useful because it works for the